Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna do another builds and tips, but before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So today's builds and tip is going to revolve around something that early, like newer players are going to benefit the most. These strategies are obsolete for VR and more advanced content, but for normal content it's kind of fine, and those are invincibility strategies. Yep, they were used to, they were very popular and they're still kind of viable in PvP, but for normal content they are kind of outdated. But they still work on normal content, just that you don't see them as much as they used to in the past, you know? So for this we're going to be using basically 4 supporters. There's an F2P option, but it's not the greatest option. We have Spica, we have Yuno, and we have Shisui. These two are the ones that you're probably going to use. These two are premium gacha supporters. They're always available in the game. If you want to reroll for them at the start of your account, maybe you can do that. I don't encourage rerolling, but that's an option. This one is going to be mileage, so that's going to take a little bit more time or money, depending on how you do things, to get. And all of them are pretty viable. This one is going to revive you when you first die, and then you're gonna get damage reduction for a while. And the active, that is the important part, removes 3 debuffs, stuns, and groggy state, and becomes invulnerable for 16 seconds. The really important part is the invincibility for 16 seconds. Though removing buffs is actually pretty good too. So yeah, 16 seconds of invincibility in a 51 seconds cooldown. So that's one thing. For Spica, she's going to increase critical rate of melee attacks by 16% and increase critical damage of range attacks by 32%. So this is going to work for both sides of the spectrum. Since we're doing normal content with this, there's not going to be damage reduction, no critical reduction. So you're going to benefit no matter which character you equip this on. This one fires a bubble that bounces between all enemies dealing damage and becomes invincible for 14 seconds. The 14 seconds invincibility is the important part of the effect. And Yuno. Be careful with Yuno. Check this. It says, increase critical rate of normal attacks by 16%. Each normal attack uses 5% of particles. So you're not going to charge your particles. You're not going to be using your ultimate, your weapon skills. Keep that in mind. Then, increases critical damage of normal attacks by 56%. If you're using this on the main, it's going to give you an extra passive that increases your critical damage with basics, which is pretty good. And then, becomes invincible for 14 seconds. So obviously Shisui is the best among them because she's 16 seconds, and these two give 14 seconds of invincibility, which are pretty good. The long duration is actually nice. So this one has 65 second cooldown, this one has 49 second cooldown, and this one has 51. Which would be the best one? Shisui and Spica. Like, there are advantages and disadvantages to Yuno. Mainly the fact that you cannot charge particles, and that the damage increase and critical rate go to the basic attacks. So keep that in mind. Fortunately, very fortunately, like as you can see, this is green, this is red, and this is blue. So these strategies work for any color. There's also one more option. If I'm missing an invincibility supporter, be sure to let me know in the comments. But if I'm not mistaken, right now we have... I don't see her, so I'm just going to do this. Aha, here she is. Furfur. Furfur, Vacation Furfur is going to give you invincibility, but it is not like the most amazing thing for invincibility. Let me elaborate. So this supporter reduces damage taken from demon type characters by 22%, increases damage skill of demon type characters, skill damage of demon type characters by 18%. Both are pretty solid effects, just so that you know. This support is worth using just because of that. Then sends bugs that deal damage to nearby enemies, and while the bugs are up, you're going to become invincible. But that lasts like 3 seconds. It's not like the greatest duration ever. And it's on a 50-second cooldown, so maybe you use this because you don't have other options, but I strongly suggest you don't use this. Like, what we're gonna check right now are burst strategies that allow you to deal a ton of damage without receiving damage and being interrupted. And Furfur is not exactly good on that. Like, she's better used for her main passive rather than her active. So, very quickly, we're gonna check this on tower. And I'm gonna be using characters that deal a ton of damage. Like, this strategy is best used on characters that are going to deal a significant amount of damage. Let's see. First I put critical Magatemas, like this. So a 5 out of weapon, plus 15. Critical Magatemas. 5 out of 5 weapon, plus 13. Critical Magatemas. Remember, the effects doesn't matter on the second one, only the level, because you want the stats. Then, for supporters, let's see, what am I going to use? I'll use green for Spinel, because, like, all of her colors are usable, but I want to go green because I want to attack pretty quick. Like, being fast is gonna be super useful. So, you know, of course, since I'm going with critical, I might as well use Kaoru. And also, I'm thinking, guys, I'm thinking. I guess just to guarantee everything, I'll use this one. This is a classic combination of supporters. Like, super useful, pretty good. And let's go with Lapis's outfit. So there we go. 4 skills: Explosive Rampage, Boulder Quake, and Demonic Arm Swing. Pretty good, yeah. So it seems feasible. Like, I could have used the weapon and take advantage of the effect, but I'm not. To take advantage of the weapon, I would require... I would need to use Crystal Shard Burst, which I could, but I don't wanna. So I'm just gonna focus on a simple set. So it's basically just a beat stick, the weapon. Keep that in mind. It's not going to take advantage of the effect. Or maybe yes, like after using Crystal Shard Burst, the critical chance of Boulder Quake, which I'm not using, increases. So yeah, it's just a beat stick. So let's test it. For this kind of a strategy, you want to one-shot everything, putting supporters that give a huge amount of damage. Like, maybe I'm not one-shotting everything per se, but you saw that was pretty fast. With just one combo of all my skills, I managed to defeat everyone. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to put this so that I can... The reason is so that I can start the cooldown. Like, it is best to save it for the right moment, but at the same time, I know that I can stall him a little bit to get cooldown, that he was going to become invincible. So, know your enemy so that you know when is the best moment to use that invincibility. The best moment usually would be when there are multiple enemies, because that's when you can get interrupted the most. And one of the big advantages of invincibility is not only the damage negation, but also the fact that you cannot be stunned or they cannot interrupt your actions. Right now, if you can see, I have 21 seconds until I use the next invincibility. So I could stall, I just need to avoid the enemies, and that's gonna be it, and it's fine. Or, well, I'm gonna try to chase the mobs. Like that, yes. Eliminate them little by little. And you see how I just... Oh my god, that was unfortunate. Come on, like this. Perfect. Well, I manage. I mean, it is pretty obvious. This strategy is really good for glass cannons who do not have HP recovery. Because on those critical moments where you would receive the most damage or you would get interrupted, you can just become invincible and keep dealing damage so that you eliminate everything. And when there's only the last boss on the stage, it's not like that hard to stall and to evade their attacks compared to when there's like the whole wave of enemies. I'm going to use other characters. If you want to do this a little bit less risky, you can use a character who has natural HP recovery. I should have done this with the green one. No, let me check. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use something funny, something pretty funny. Where are you, Murasaki? Yeah, let's go with red Murasaki. That's super fun. Let's see. So I do this. I put the critical Magatemes. So basically, I'm gonna use this. Is S level 3 plus 14. It enhances the damage with each critical, so that's great. Obviously, critical Magatemes. 5 out of 5 plus 14. Even though the stats are better on this one, I'm gonna use the other one. Whatever Magatemes. Then I'm gonna go red. So obviously, I'm gonna use Spica because we're using invincibility, right? So Spica. That is going to give me critical rate. Spica, where are you? Yeah, critical rate for melee. Then another red. I'm gonna use these just because I want to be fast with Murasaki. But you could change it for something that deals more damage. Like Murasaki is super slow, so I'm going to use this. It increases my damage and also my critical damage. So it's going to be a 50% damage increase, speed increase, and critical rate increase, and invincibility. As I mentioned, you can change this one no problem. For example, an easy pick would be Yukina. If you go with damage, you can also use New Year Shiranui. You can use Stella. There's plenty of options. Momochi Nagi. Whatever you want is fine. Then, Great Axe Senpu reduces damage taken. Could be. Tentacle Hold, no. I'm gonna use Fushi no Jin for sure. This is an HP recovery skill no matter the color, which is great. And on red, the counter damage increases by 80%, and the HP recovery depends on the damage that you deal. So you're gonna recover a ton of HP with this counter. Obviously, we're going to use the Great Axe Rengenki, which is the red skill. Yes, thank you. And since I'm using Rengenki, I cannot use Senpu, which is very unfortunate. Senpu has a really strong effect with a 30% damage reduction. Perform an attack right after the assault? No. Performs consecutive attacks? Could be. Or the basic enhancer. Well, I'll use Isen, why not? Just cause. No, wait a moment. Isen? Fujinojin? Oof, I cannot put Isen. They use the same command. So I guess that means that reduces the damage of the enemy. Yep, I'll use the basic enhancer, just cause. I wish I had something red. Like, well, I use this bunny outfit. Sure. So, the supporters. the skills, and the weapons. With that in mind, this is gonna be pretty fun. I used to love using this build, the red build, before Murasaki Green became mainstream because, yeah, she's strong on green. I won't deny that. But, yes, just destroying everything with this skill is pretty fun. And look at the damage increase. No, not damage increase. The HP restoration. Wow, a million damage with only one hit. Well, the last hit, that is. Yup. Just do it. Murasaki is not going to have troubles unlike Spinel because she has the HP recovery with one of her skills. Just one HP recovery skill is more than enough in most cases. But using that invincibility whenever there are multiple enemies so that you are not interrupted is going to be pretty valuable. Well, not that I'm going to be interrupted that much, since Murasaki in particular does have a ton of... what's the name? Oof. No! Okay, that's bad. A ton of super armor. Take. Oh god. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, god. That's bad. Fine. Yeah, she's not the fastest, as you can see. In fact, I'm not checking the speed increase. Ah, well, it pops every now and then. But it is not like... Actually, I'm gonna change it. Why? Because since I'm using the basic enhancer, this is not going to activate, I think. Like, if I'm not mistaken, every 10... Oof, no, yeah. It is not a good idea. It's on every 10 combos. I thought it was on a skill activation for a moment. So instead, let's go with something pretty generic, pretty good. Yeah, like Estella, 30% damage increase. You can get a similar effect with many other supporters, like 24% damage increase is not that high of a bar. Yeah, because I need more damage. I was not eliminating Headwing just with that. Okay, perfect. Now, I just do damage. 3, 4, 5. And there we go. Nice. I do need to increase the level of this weapon whenever I get the chance. Or lucky, rather than the chance, because I wouldn't roll for its banner. It is one of the best weapons at the beginning of the game, for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least this one. Oh, it didn't crit. And it wasn't near. Nice. Edwin doing his stuff. Okay, I just do this. Perfect. Come on. Oh, Edwin, stop moving. Ah, confusion. No. Invincibility. That's another thing that you can do. Use invincibility. But one problem with invincibility, guys, good thing that it happened right now. Like, you don't want to use invincibilities with counters, because the invincibility protects you from hits and the counter only activates on hits, so you're never going to use a counter if you have invincibility. So that's one thing to take into consideration. Like, obviously I do want to use the counter because the HP recovery is very valuable, and since I'm piloting Murasaki myself, I know about this synergy, so it's not going to be a problem. Invincibility, perfect, so that I can defeat the other ones, the mobs. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Perfect. I'm going to use the counter. Perfect. You see? That's exactly why you want to use this. To not get overwhelmed when all the enemies are around you, and just deal massive damage to eliminate them. Since everyone is going to be surrounding you, you can use your big AoE attacks, like Spinel's basic, to just destroy everything around you. Let's see, we're gonna do it with another character. Let's go with someone who doesn't heal themselves. But it's also melee. Like, who? I could use Asuka, technically. No, let's go with Phantasma. Phantasma is technically not melee. She can be melee, yeah, for sure. But we're gonna use green Phantasma. Or blue Phantasma? I mean, blue is strong, and I would show Shisui. But green is stronger. Yeah, we're gonna use green, because the idea is that you use the damage skills that deal the most damage on your character and with the supporters that you have. So obviously, again, we use this, and we're doing crits. So unfortunately, we're not getting the benefit of this. Well, technically yes. It's on normal attacks. We're gonna be using this, and we're gonna be using, yeah, this one too. I need it. I forgot for a moment, but I need it. Why do I need it? Because my weapon is S level 4, so I need the extra critical rate. So the same combo, you could change it, okay? You can use many different things. You can use pure damage increase. You can use, for example, nano, which gives a damage increase on both sides of the spectrum. Damage increase, critical guaranteed. No, this one no. It has to be on the main. Let's see. You wouldn't go with anything else other than damage increase. You want damage increase, as I mentioned, to abuse the period of invincibility to deal massive damage. Increase damage. Increase attack frequency. Oof. Do I have another damage increase? Yeah. Do I want to use this against this? I think not. I never use this skill because it has the same command as Twister Dance. It's a shame. Like, I really want to use Succubus Whisper, but what an unfortunate combination. Well, Phantasmal Mirror. Yeah, I'll go with this one. That's fine. So, this weapon is S level 4 plus 13, and this is S level 5 plus 13. Critical Magatamas. And let's see what Phantasma can do. Phantasma, due to her leader skill, wants to be near the enemies, which is kind of unfortunate for for her, because she's kind of a ranged character. She's a mixed attacker, but mainly she's a ranged character. So yeah, as you can see, I am just shredding the enemies with all my damage. There we go. Pretty easy. The problem lies when we have the bosses, because the bosses don't go down with one hit like everyone else. Okay, I just do this and then use this. and just receive it in any kind of hit. It's problematic for her, and that's why we want to use Invincibility supporters to protect her. There. Oh, stop moving, come on. Like this, perfect, yeah. Okay, there. I get closer to Edwin. So this is the part that gets problematic with someone like... wait a moment. With someone like Phantasma. The part where there's a bunch of enemies and you don't know what to do, you get overwhelmed. So you just use that sweet invincibility. Well, first you use a couple of skills maybe, position yourself properly, and then use invincibility so that you're not going to be interrupted. And you just shred the enemies. So Obor is down, that's one thing. Phantasma perhaps isn't like the best example to use this strategy, because Phantasma does have an out with the decoy that she uses. But as you can see, I'm about to die technically. But I am not. I don't think so. I just go for that potion. Woof. And I'm done with the enemy. Yeah. So that's another thing that you can do, guys. Like, just take advantage of that invincibility supporter that you use. Like, this is better used on characters that deal a ton of damage and are not going to be like able to survive otherwise, because let's say you don't have supporters that give you a balance between damage increase and damage reduction, something like this build. These supporters gives damage reduction, and this gives attack and damage increase and damage reduction, damage increase and damage reduction. So a character like Phantasma becomes pretty tanky, especially with an HP recovery skill like Crunching Fear and Twisting Your Dance. But not every character is going to have that ability to use HP recovery skills, or not every con is going to have like supporters that give like damage increase and damage reduction at the same time. So for characters that perform well in burst strategies, use characters like Spinel. She's pretty good on that. You can also use Nagi and Rin and Shizuru. Those are excellent characters. She debuffs tremendously on red, and even though she has HP recovery with Sprout Garden, it's not like good enough. That's why it's fine to use an invincibility supporter. The same can be said about Rin. She has HP recovery for sure with Volt Spin, but she gets interrupted too much, and the invincibility is pretty good. She can deal a ton of damage, but she not only values the invincibility, the damage negation, but also the super armor that she gets. The same with Momochi Nagi. She gets like interrupted pretty easily. She does have HP recovery. She has range attacks. She can be range, but she's pretty delicate. Let's see who else likes that kind of strategy. Rinko. My Rinko isn't strong enough. She doesn't have like 2 S level 5 weapons to begin with, or the best weapons available, but she can do very good damage. The problem is that not only she needs high investment, but also she needs the super armor provided with invincibility. So the damage negation is also pretty good. Who else? Who else? Who else? Asuka, if you don't have the right equipment. Asuka for sure. Asuka requires this weapon. And if you don't have this weapon, you're not going to recover HP with Asuka. So instead you would rely on any color of invincibility supporters and very aggressive weapons. If you have these or these, she's gonna perform pretty well. Let's see. There's someone else who likes this invincibility strategies. Well, not that I remember. Yeah, not that I remember. Most characters do have some way of HP recovery nowadays, which is pretty good, but there are some exceptions. So let me know in the comments which other character you use with invincibility strategies and what other combination of supporters you use. Obviously, like these two, where are they? I have to remove them. That's why. These two focus on critical. So critical red and critical green are common strategies for invincibility supporters. For blue, it is super easy to use the big three, Onigumo, Fumamane, or Mido Haruka, along with something pretty generic like Arabella. Or depending on your character, you may use something like Felicia for assist, Kirara for demons, Lilin for protect. There's options for damage, raw damage. So yeah, guys, that's about it. I hope you find this useful. As I mentioned, this is kind of outdated for super challenging content, but it's still usable for normal content, and it's pretty good for early players. Please be sure to share this with your friends who are starting the game, with anyone who's having troubles with events or bonus, because this is gonna help them out. So that's about it, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!